Ladies and gents, the week 3 of the NFL has come to an end, and my God, so many different reactions, so much stuff to talk about. Let's jump right in because we've got two new NFL teams. Two new NFL teams at the top of the pyramid. They are currently the best teams, clearly, because they just knock off the other best teams that we thought were better. Let's talk about it. Miami Dolphins, number one team in the AFC. I mean, there's no debate. Are you seeing what they're putting up right now? Beating Buffalo, who was previously thought to be the number one team. And then talk about the NFC. It ain't Tom Brady and the Bucks. It ain't Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. It ain't the LA Rams. It's the Philadelphia Eagles as the other number one team. I mean, I don't even know what to say. At the current moment, it's Miami versus Philly. Let's book it in the Super Bowl. And it's incredible. Let's look at the box stats a little bit here before we jump to any crazy conclusions that they're the best teams. At the current moment, they are. But it's not like they're going to win the Super Bowls, right? Well, you never know. Look at what Buffalo and Miami did in this game. Josh Allen had to throw 63 times. 63. Most so far this season. I mean, people sometimes don't even get to 40s, and Josh Allen throws it 63 times. I mean, talk about a stat line to bet on. Hammer the over every time Josh Allen plays, because it seems like this guy's going to throw over 50 times every single game. And then the weird thing in this backfield here, and the receiving core, it wasn't Stephon Diggs that leading the way. And it wasn't Gabe Davis leading the way either. It was Devin Singletary and Isaiah McKenzie. And it's like, whoa. And what does this mean if you're Buffalo? Well, essentially the game plan was here, tight game, divisional game against a difficult opponent. Both defenses played really well, and the environment was so hot. I mean, Stephon Diggs was cramping on the final play of the game. And you see players struggling in that kind of heat. And Devin Singletary and Isaiah McKenzie were the guys that got the most targets combined. So talking about that, and a lot of times this stems from what Brady did with New England and still does with the Bucks. You got a slot guy like Isaiah McKenzie, one-on-one against a slot corner. You need a guy that can get open quickly in less than 3 seconds so they can get rid of the ball as fast as they can with the pressure coming. I mean, Melvin Ingram, 2 sacks, 2 strip fumbles. I mean, they were everywhere. And Devin Singletary, another back who's not known. He can't even run the freaking ball. And then all of a sudden now he's this guy that's going to be their number one pass catcher. I mean, don't take this to heart, but 9 receptions, 80 yards, and a tutty. So he's also that guy. It's like a James White scenario here. Josh Allen needs that guy to come out of the backfield, make a quick move against a linebacker. He's going to win every time. And that's why if you have a special back that can catch the ball in the backfield is so advantageous because of the advantage you get right away. So having that linebacker trying to catch up to that RB right off the set play is very difficult. That's why it's always an advantage for this running back. And that's why you saw in a tight scenario where you don't see the bombs that you're sending to Stephon Diggs and then Gabe Davis for 50 yards like you did in Tennessee last week or the week before against LA. A lot of tight window throws in short down scenarios. You got to get that ball out quick or else you're going to get pummeled by the Miami defense. And then in Miami, I guess they're the best team in the league. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. Another 100-yard game for Jalen Waddle. Defense was everywhere. I mean, my God, the ending of that game was incredible. So now Miami's the best team in the AFC. You can't deny it. Until further notice, until they lose a game, they're the best team. They just knocked off the best team in Buffalo, who was considered one of the most dominant teams to start in 2 games in recent history. But both these teams have 2 weaknesses. Rushing the football. And it's the same weakness for both teams. Josh Allen led the way again with 47 rush yards. He can't keep doing this, having all the pass attempts and also leading the way in rush yards. You're depending too much on one guy and it's going to come to bite you in the butt. Similarly like it does every year with the Cardinals. Because Kyler Murray gets a little bit injured and teams figure them out. And same in Miami. Chase Edmonds, 21 yards. Raheem Mostert, 11 yards. I mean, this is like awful, awful running the football. Just no balance whatsoever, and it's going to come to bite you in the butt, especially come playoff time. You have to have a balance, or else teams will just focus too much and rely too much on the passing. And that's, you know what happens then? You've got teams, their defensive ends, able to come and start pass rushing against you. And that's what happened a lot of times. Brady in the biggest Super Bowls against the Giants. Why did the Giants beat Patriots? Because they had Michael Strahan and others get after Tom Brady. And when you can't run the football, it's easy to tell. And now the other side, Philly. I mean, the NFC least is now becoming one of the better divisions? Hello? New York Giants are 2-0. Philly's 3-0. All of a sudden, the best teams in the league are in the NFC East. How about it? Look at the stat line. I mean, my God, the Eagles, 9 sacks. 9! Against Carson Wentz, who was looking like an MVP. Averaging 25 points fantasy past 2 weeks. Throwing darts to Terry McLaurin, over to Curtis Samuel. All of a sudden, he's the biggest fantasy starter now. Antonio Gibson, a 3-down back. Brian Robinson's coming back. You've got players in all positions. And they just got run all over the place. And even regardless of Philly's known for their running ability, they didn't even run that ball. Look at the stat line. They didn't run it very well at all. 50 yards for Sanders. Jalen Hurts only had 20, and besides that, there was nothing there. Only 70 yards total. That's one of their lowest in recent history. But look at this receiving core. Oh my goodness. Devonta Smith. 8 catches, 170 yards, and a tud. 12 targets. 10 targets for A.J. Brown. I mean, I made a mistake. I was not high on him in the draft. Was not high on him for fantasy. And he had a fantastic preseason, everyone's saying. And now look at this. Coming through as one of the top 3-5 receivers, fantasy points currently in the market. Dallas Goedert had 3 catches. Zach Pascal also 3 catches. I mean, they're getting everywhere. Hurts with over 30 pass attempts. His percentage wasn't as good. It was below 60% completion percentage. So there's things to talk about there. But Washington couldn't score. They went punt, 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 fumble, punt, punt, punt in their first 7 possessions. And their first points came in the fourth quarter with a safety. I mean, there's just no competition here. Eagles currently the best team. Miami the best team. We've got the new Super Bowl matchup. Rihanna singing it. Talk to me. I mean, you can't argue with it. Best teams currently at the moment. And if they match in the Super Bowl, damn. I mean, that's going to be a high-powered offense. I wouldn't even be mad about it. Both teams with incredible talent all the way around. Nick Sirianni versus the new coach over there with the Miami Dolphins. Man, what a start to week 3 in the NFL.
I think I'm in love, say it way too often. I can't play these games, think I'm switching